The K stands for Khorasan, which is designed to represent the affiliate of ISIS in Afghanistan and Pakistan. The group is made up primarily of Pakistanis and Afghans, some of whom were at one time part of the Taliban itself. They left a few years ago after the death of the founder of the Taliban, Mullah Omar, and they formed their own group. In many ways, it was more down to divisions within the within the Taliban leadership than it had to do with any other issues. Effectively, it's not so much an ideological difference with Al-Qaeda or the Taliban. It's more to do with power and regional influences. And that is why often you see on the one day they may be fighting each other, and on another day they'll end up cooperating with each other. Let's not forget that in the last few weeks, those ISIS-K prisoners that were released from jail were released by the Taliban. ISIS-K is predominantly based in the Afghan province of Nangarhar, which borders Pakistan. And they have been trying to create their own caliphate there. And they are also heavily involved in criminal activities, such as narcotics and human trafficking. They control some front companies as well, such as car dealerships. So their goal is, like ISIS, is to create a caliphate. It's predominantly in Afghanistan. All of these groups have international ambitions. Everything starts locally, and if they're allowed to continue to grow, it will end up being more international. There is no doubt that ISIS-K pose a threat internally and potentially, if left unchecked, externally as well. They've been behind some of the most gruesome attacks in Afghanistan in the last few years. The attack on the Sikh Gurdwara temple in Afghanistan last year, as well as attacking a maternity ward in Kabul also last year, in which 20 women were murdered, some of whom were in the process of giving birth. So it just shows you their barbaric nature and how dangerous they potentially are. That doesn't bode well for Afghanistan, and unfortunately, it will undermine all the hard-earned gains that we've achieved in the last 20 years in that country, especially with the huge and enormous effort that British troops have put into that country through blood, sweat, and tears. And what we're seeing is a return to the old dark days of Afghanistan in the 1990s, where it was a cesspool for extremism, ungoverned spaces, places for terrorists to operate freely without fear of being isolated or confined. This is what is occurring.